Now, it's unlikely to be here because everyone does 5. It's not going to be here because everyone's on drugs. That's all just full of ox. Al Gore says that's gone, so it's not going to be down there. That's full of spiders. Signposts here are all full of gibberish. They're all communists. Can't go there because the Americans will shoot you.
No!
What?
Thank you. You might notice we've got some new furniture and a new telly. Now, the problem is, you see, there was a fire at our storage depot. You might have seen it in the papers. And nearly all of our props got destroyed.
Yeah, and the police are saying, as you can see here, that it was arson.
Yeah, but, I mean, who'd do that? It's not like we've ever upset anyone.
I know. Well, there was the vicar whose tree I rammed in the Toyota pickup truck.
Yeah,
and everyone in Wales, and everyone in Birmingham, and everyone in America.
Yeah.
And while we were making this series, actually, we managed to upset the Coast Guard, who said that we've ruined the English Channel. Yeah. I know who did this.
Who?
Fifth Gear.
Well, hang on, why?
Can we just look at the evidence? Just last week, OK, it was in the papers, they've rolled a Bedford Rascal van. There it is, OK? Yeah. A year ago, if we look at a shot from Top Gear, we rolled a Bedford Rascal van.
Where did it
They're now saying that one of their presenters has hurt his foot. That's not an accident. We have proper accidents on this show.
Do you think they're a bit jealous?
Yeah, so please, really, Tiff, Vicky, stop burning our things.
Yes.
I mean, us three all smoke, OK? There's nothing to be proud of. The fact is that we all do, and we don't crash. Well, 2 of us don't, so...
Actually, I've given up smoking as well now.
Well, there you are. You can't do 2 things at once.
I can multitask.
You can multitask?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you putting your makeup on.
Yeah.
And driving?
And driving.
Yeah.
I've seen you multitask and driving.
No, you can't talk about that on the television.
Fuel reset. Pumps are reset. Fan is off. Neutral. Engine start. Yes, excellent. Strapping in. That one must go in there.
Hi.
Oh, dear.
Nice view here.
Just thought you'd stop and admire it.
Yeah, I might need your help.
Why?
There might be a problem.
What?
Fuel filler cap won't open.
Never mind. See you in Italy.
No. Dear.
Is this your second filler?
Yes?
See, mine's got a 110-litre endurance fuel tank.
If you two need to get in my slipstream when we're going up the hills, because I know you don't have much power.
At no point have I lacked in power to keep up with this thing. At no
How
point.
many horsepower?
415.
522.
It's how it uses them. It's how it deploys them.
I'm with
They're
that.
constantly
top
there.
speed?
175.
Top speed?
185-ish.
195. You're
Yeah,
just not the same lead.
This is probably quite a good car, I'll grant you that, but it's half-hearted and limp-wristed. It's not a real luxury
should be
supercar, and
good.
neither is it a proper lightweight.
James, a little compromise might be useful in your car. Be honest.
No? I love it.
On the right.
The Lambo and the Porsche are very, very close. The Aston Martin seems to be very, very slow. Didn't expect that in the racing car. So we're carrying on by bicycle tomorrow, Alan? Because these will have been stolen, obviously.
Well, they did say they'd got a secure car park that nobody could break into. And I can see exactly what they mean. There's absolutely no way that anybody could possibly get into this car park in any way, shape or form. It's actually very simple.
What were you thinking?
Do you know my car doesn't have a key or a lock?
Did they save weight by not fitting locks to it? Now it is time. It is time to do the cool wall. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, the cool wall was one of the major casualties in our fire, but we will persevere.
Yes, we will,
Yes.
and we're going to kick off with this.
Yes!
It's...
Is it a Golf?
No, that's more an Alpha.
I don't know, that headlamp. That,
I think
yeah,
that's
that
an
is.
Alpha.
No,
What is
I
it?
don't know.
What do you think that is?
It's an Audi. It's a figure, right?
How empty is your life that you are able to determine that this is an Audi from that photograph? When Vicky Butler-Henderson burned the Cornwall,
Yeah.
she thought she'd flummoxed us. But it doesn't matter because we're going to move on to something else that isn't... But James May hasn't been burned!
Hurrah for that!
Hot, uncomfortable, numb buttocks, crushed testicles, sweaty shirt, smelly boots. I'm now beginning to go slightly faint as a result of my dehydration. My eardrums are bleeding, and my pelvis has been turned to dust. It's going to kill me.
Here he comes.
Finally. Oh, testicles.
We come all the way here in these cars and you it up because you're a feeble-minded, utter,
I think that...
useless.
Look at the colour of that water, that's beautiful!
Why did you think this would be good, you big daft?
Trust me, Italy is the place. It's
Shut
the
up!
home of the fast car.
I mean, why did we bother? We should have just come here on a bus.
In order for the ferry to unload, James had to disembark first.
Hang on a minute, bloke, something's not quite right.
What's the matter?
It's
I
broken.
don't know.
Has it got fuel in it?
Yeah, it's got loads of fuel.
Despite the horns, James wouldn't rush his pre-flight checks.
Master switch, ignition, pump. That's off.
Meanwhile, in the Aston...
Oh.
The Stelvio Pass. 15 miles of asphalt spaghetti draped on an Alp. It was stunning. Should we do it?
Costs £28,000 more than a standard 430.
I know, it brings us back to those lightweight supercars that we were reviewing last week, because what really annoys me is that you buy a Ferrari 430 and you think this is as good as Ferrari can make a car, and then a couple of minutes later they come along and go, no, actually this is.
But it's going to cost an extra £28,000.
But if you give us another £28,000, you'll have a car that's as good as we can actually make it.
Exactly right.
I think it's a bit like that Sainsbury's Taste the Difference cheese.
Now, let me think about it.
Like cheese.
Hold on a minute.
No.
No, it's not like
isn't.
cheese.
No, that's not cheese.
No.
This is an analogy. But you go into Sainsbury's and you see cheese, and it costs a certain amount of money, but then next to it there's Taste the Difference cheese, and it's a little bit more expensive, but it tastes really nice.
The bachelor life.
No, but what I want to know is, why don't they just make all the cheese like that? Or do they just make that cheese and then make something that's a bit worse, price it lower and say, here's some rubbish cheese for poor people?
Hang on.
Lift gear news. You know, we revealed last week they'd burned our furniture. Well, it turned out that this week, one of their presenters caught fire. Jason Potato.
Plato.
Well, actually, baked potato now. No, really, he was 1,183 horsepower, 0 to 60, 2.8 seconds, and this week it set the fastest ever speed for a road-legal car, 256 miles an hour. Can you believe that? Ooh. They say the body is solely carbon fibre and weighs 131 pounds, if you don't count the doors, the bonnet and the boot.
That's kind of
I weigh 131 pounds if you don't count my arms, legs and head.
It's a fair point.
Company that makes brake discs and brake pads and things, and they're urging us all to check our brakes, make sure they're working properly, because according to some statistics from the Department for Transport, 1 in 3 accidents happens because a vehicle fails to stop in time.
Well,
Whereas I thought it was actually all accidents.
They were full of all the stuff you'd expect. They'd have briefcases with Porsche written on them, wallets and pens that you can buy for £3 anywhere else because they've got Porsche on them. They're £3.5 million each. And it's all full of that complete rubbish. And now we went into smoking tools and we discovered, for the Porsche enthusiast...
Boy, have you got to be an enthusiast.
Porsche designed pipe. Mine won't start properly.
No, of course it will. It's a Porsche. Persevere. No, what are you doing, man? No, other way round. You. Ah.
It's a 911 Porsche. Hot bit goes at the back.
You don't look right with that, but have you noticed over my shoulder?
Oh, no. Look at him. I've never seen...
With the chair, the pipe, we're building up the perfect picture for you, mate. I think next week...
I'll tell you something.
You see, he's pointing.
I haven't...
Oh, God. That's not gone well. Mind you, why was I hurrying? I'm just going to ring the solicitor, do my last will and testament, leave everything to the lifeboat people.
I can't believe they're asking us to go across the channel in them. But I'm following Jeremy's pickup and it looks like a man with a pickup who's stolen an outboard motor and a couple of oil drums on the way to a fishing trip.
It is like the West Indian dope smoking team practicing in the car.
Hello?
Eventually, the excess foam did burn off, and soon we arrived in Dover.
All slack water, yeah?
Slackwater is tomorrow about 1 o'clock. We shall go then.
Yes.
We'll go to the pub now.
Sound idea, yeah.
We'll go to the pub now, and then tomorrow, 1 o'clock, that'll be us at Slackwater.
Because the water's slack. What's slack water?
Have you ever considered the meaning of life?
No, but I think we should. And I think we should...
And now's the time.
Oh, yeah.
This is ready. I've checked it for water tightness. I've got all the sheets, which is the correct nautical term for these pieces of string, in the right position. It is all absolutely ship-shape and ready to go.
How many grains of sugar are there?
That's exactly what I was... Do you know that's because we say blithely, I'll have 1 sugar. How many are there?
1,
Yeah.
2...
It works! I am floating!
Amazingly, all 3 of us were floating. Well, when I say 3...
It's going down!
Meanwhile, back with Captain Pugwash.
Sod it. Right, now, sail. Ow.
We were leaving the harbour.
You can't see what's coming, I can!
I can just see Sky Sea!
Our intentions are to go across the channel faster than Beardy Branson.
In that case, I wish you good luck and bon voyage.
I want to do that for a job.
Ow, you bitch!
I can't do gently.
Well, that's not round, that's backwards, you pillock.
I don't want to go that way now! Go left!
And then... Oh, not another one.
This. The new Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead.
As I'm sure you know, on Top Gear, if a car spends too long sitting around on the deck of an aircraft carrier, it eventually gets launched off the ramp thing down at the end. And this definitely isn't going to fly because it weighs 2.6 tons. So, and other car manufacturers are currently spending millions and millions of pounds on research into hydrogen fuel cells and hybrid drive. But Rolls-Royce spends the same money in its ashtray design department. Look at that. I didn't feel conspicuous in it. The thing is, I believe deep in my heart that I look good in it and it suits me. Because it's stylish and it's contemporary.
Every time I see you, those are the words that pop into my head. Stylish and contemporary.
Thank you.
After other words like, for instance, beige, Stannah stairlift, the war. Can you think of any more? Homosexual. All you need, got a phone and a credit card. These are what you need, OK? And I've got a microphone so you can hear what I'm doing. Just give me the number. 0870 yeah.
428
428
4009.
4009. This puts me through to a laptop in India. There you go. I've got a microphone ready. I'll put the speaker on.
Welcome to Westminster's phone parking service. Please enter the 4-digit location number or enter 0 to select your last location.
Right, so it's 8, that's the location number, 8744. Your car's rotting at this point, but here we go, there we are.
Need you to enter your PIN number or the last 4 digits of the credit or debit card that you registered.
My credit card, last 4. I can't read that. I need... Oh, you could have got any glasses.
Tell you what, give it to me, I'll read your number out loud. All of it.
No, you won't be doing it.
And they might need the expiry
I said, reading glasses. Thanks, these are... Oh, yes. They're not reading glasses. No, there we go. 7.
This is to park your car.
You haven't finished yet.
Please press the key on which the first curvature of your number plate resides.
Eh?
Somebody give me a registration number of one of these cars. That Ferrari, what is it? V12, V. V.
For D, press 1. For U, press 2. For B.
But there's never been anything to help old people park. Until now, because this Lexus LS600 can park itself.
Now, here's basically how it works. At the back of the car, there are sensors in the bumper that know where its extremes are. There's a tiny little camera here that looks behind, and when Hammond presses a little button on the screen, it will reverse and steer itself into that spot.
Yep, it's that easy. I just engage reverse gear, I can see the cameras here, I press some buttons and stuff, and then it parks. So, here goes. This is going to go well.
Well, Hammond, I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is the instruction book that I have here, OK?
Yeah.
For the sort of command system. All of that is for the park assist. Do you think you can do it without reading it?
Well, you...
All right, then go on, let's see if I can.
Press some buttons.
Go on, then.
Don't
Go on,
stand
then.
there.
I don't do anything, do I? I just take my foot off the brake, yeah?
Yeah, you take
don't
your foot
touch
off the
the steering
brake,
wheel.
and then it goes.
I'm not doing anything, I'm not doing anything, I'm not doing anything, it's just the car! I'm not! Oh, bugger! Oh, bugger!
No! Stop! The trouble is, none of these cars are really small. They are, in fact, massive. 40 years ago, car makers could sell you something much smaller. The original Mini, for example, or the bubble car. But even these aren't small. Not really. Not compared to this. The Peel P50. That is 54 inches long and 41 inches wide. It is listed in the Guinness Book of Records as the smallest production car ever. And what I'm sure you're expecting me to do now is introduce Richard Hammond. What I've got down here by my right knee, in the cabin, making an awful lot of noise and generating quite a bit of heat, is the 49cc engine from a moped. Top speed rather depends on how big you are and actually how much you had for breakfast. But realistically, even the skinniest, shortest chap with the whitest of teeth will struggle to get past 35. The Top Gear team so enthusiastic about any car. Oh, lads, I put a Koenigsegg down in the car park. Oh, right. Got a new Ferrari down there. Not interested. This. Even John Humphrys dropped by for a look. Hammond, no, well, can't you just clean them? Really, 4,000 to whiten them. 4,000 quid.
We are away! We're neck and neck! I'm getting away! I can't believe I'm looking in... Whoa! I can feel the wash from the jet! And there he goes!
I'm
government ministers about how to handle the number of claims that have resulted from last month's floods. The total bill is estimated at about £1.5 billion. Mark Simpson is in...
Sorry everyone, sorry.
Yeah!
What the hell have you done, man?
It's an Opel Kadett from 1963.
So that's the same age as...
The same age as me.
Yes, but it's much better nick than you are. It was £1,200. I had much change with which to buy many beads. How much more simple can you get? It's got 2 moving parts, and it's been here for 44 years.
I love the Speedo.
I do like a horizontal speed. I really do.
Where's the engine?
It's there.
Hold on.
Hang on, with it. It's tiny. You pulled out of its slipstream.
Well, it's really coming up. 105.
Still truck.
105.
Still truck.
105.
3,000 revs, 3,500, pulls cleanly.
Oh, yeah. That's better.
Don't know what that is. Oh! Oh, Oliver, you've got a cold. Listen.
If you run out of water, you will die. If your car breaks down and you can't be rescued, you will die. If you run out of food, you will die. It's like driving on a creme brulee. There's a primeval ooze covered with a thin layer of salty crust. If you have thin tyres, you will break through that crust, get stuck, and you will die. So it advises us to fit fat tyres and remove as much weight as possible before setting off.
Maybe. I don't want to take the hubcaps off, really, because they protect the hubs.
Can I point something out?
What?
Hammond's walking around his car muttering about how he needs all of it.
I know exactly what he's doing.
He's formed an emotional attachment, hasn't he?
It'd be like saying to him, could you cut bits off your wife? Still, as you can see from the tyres' grooves, I was doing better than the Merc.
I'm looking at James's rear wheel, and he's digging in a long way.
I tried to help him along.
Really helpful.
Well, he's always the Beetle, James.
It's waiting for you.
This is excellent.
Why don't all cars have no doors? When I come to power, I'm going to make it a rule, because this is just better. Which, as you can probably hear, has got a throttle that's jammed wide open and I can't hold it on the brakes. Hammond, move! You're going to have to go faster and I hit you.
What?
Oh, God!
Thanks, well, help yourself to my brakes, why not?
I've lost a skull.
Monkeys.
I'm sorry, I can't... Whoa. Just hit the throttle, that's tick over. Look, my leg's not on it.
Oh, oh God, it's... Please, come out! Come on! Float! 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 Oliver!
Which year was it made?
1981. It's just driven all the way from Zimbabwe to here without going on a road.
Like this?
Yeah. Nay,
Get out of the way of the pub.
I shall move it for you. If you ask politely, I will move it.
Yeah, that's his light. They are grown-ups, honestly, they do this a lot. We're away! I can't believe how quickly that thing gets off the line! 80! 90! 100! We're level pegging! He's on roller skates! Come on!
And he went out there to Africa and he...
Hang on a minute.
What?
Because I think we can improve this with an old Top Gear prop. Hold on.
What old Top Gear prop?
Just hang on, I'll find it.
Well, you're an old Top Gear prop, how can you?
Oh, no, that.
No, honestly, this will improve it immensely.
I'll start again.
Would you? Yeah, hang on.
Yeah.
Wait for it. Right. OK.
So, it's the story, really, of a young chap who went to Africa and fell in love with a 43-year-old Opel Kadett who he called Oliver. And they would sit for many hours under the stars, telling each other they had eyes like pools of moonlight. And now he's decided to ship him back. I said him. Ship Eat back to England, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. He's coming home.
Are you going to live in the country together and, you know, like embroider church kneel are running an advert of a jolly policeman in his tall helmet and they're putting it on the back of a bus. We've got it here. There you are. And it's fine, except for where the bus's exhaust pipe is.
There's his... No,
Well, I don't know what the fuss is all about. This is very safe. I can see no danger here at all. Designed by the same people who brought you the McLaren F1, the Caparo has a 3.5-litre V8 race engine, which delivers 575 horsepower. That is a huge amount in a car that weighs about the same as a patio heater. Some say that to unlock him, you have to run your finger down his face. Like that. And that if he were getting divorced from Paul McCartney, he'd keep his stupid, whining mouth shut. All we know is he's called the Sting. Make sure that we aren't accused of bias toward the car. It will be driven by the slowest man in the world. A man with no known sense of direction. Him.
Now, as we race across London in the car and on the bike, he will catch a bus around the corner. There he will get an underground train to Monument Station, and from there he will get on the Docklands Light Railway, which takes him all the way to the airport. So, are we ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Meanwhile, the Stig saw a huge red car approaching, and he got on it using something called an Oyster card, which is useful if you have no understanding of money. Now, here's one of the big problems that you have on the river, which is the rowers, who reserve a special kind of hatred for people with engines on their boats. They are the cyclists of the waterway, the Hammonds. Do you want to lift? See, she hates me.
Nay. Hello, Captain Clarkson.
Where are you?
Hammersmith, Broadway.
No way. Where's Hammond?
I don't know, I tried to ring him, but it sounded like his face was rubbing along the road, so you may have had it already.
You realise, James, I have to beat you, but I want you to win with that car. Don't get lost. Right, time to ring the Stig. See how he's getting on. We'd given him a phone, but,
Go. Bit of Christian motoring there. That man wanted to pull out. Let him pull out. What comes around goes around. He who is last shall be first. Oi! Chuffing, bus-driving, bullying Nazi. Why don't you just wait and give your passengers a better ride?
No! No! You filthy, foul, stinking...
Hammond!
Ah, you stinking, evil, foul-reeking, hell-making people!
Hammond stopped swearing long enough to answer the phone.
the Stig, in a close second, was now making his final train change.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your belongings with you at all times and report any unattended items or suspicious behaviour to a member of staff or a police officer.
lights! Bloody lights! Hate them.
Cool. That'll just be good.
Inside, there's all numbers. There'll be a bit of smoke come out the top in a minute. Keep watching.
15 minutes after the Stig, James arrived.
Thank you, James.
What have you done?
The car, as an entity,
Ruined.
lies smashed and broken in front of us because of you. He beat you on public transport. Pints of Stella and a dollop of chlamydia. Tolerable. And it's not just me being a fat old man, I promise. Even if you're a teenager, even if you're used to sleeping on the floor at parties and being stabbed, this is completely unacceptable. You need a skeleton made of granite.
Which is now officially the fastest convertible in the world. That'll do 206 miles per hour with the roof down. But if a blue bottle flies over the top of the windscreen at that speed and hits you in the middle of your forehead, it'll go straight through its own arse.
I thought you were going to say it would go through your head.
I was expecting that.
No, your head will be fine.
We have been able to fit a massive 60 cubic feet of cheese. So if you're in the cheese-making industry, this is a very practical and impressive car. Now, because the Mercedes is lower, obviously you get less space in the back, but you'd be surprised how close it is. I've actually got 57 cubic feet of cheese in there. And if you convert cheese into dogs, that's 4.3 Great Danes. Why does anybody buy a Range Rover Sport? You want sport? Get an M5, turn the traction control off, and mash your foot into the Axminster.
The governing body of motorhome racing states in the official 2007 rulebook that you must prepare your motorhome for racing the night before the race. Once the sun goes down, you may not make any further changes. Which leaves you with a dilemma. Do you strip it out and endure a terrible night's sleep that means you're not on form for the race? Or do you leave the luxuries in place and then face having to compete with all the extra weight on board?
Gravy juice, pan, warm, peas, carrots, add.
Finally, everything was ready.
That's a pie.
For now. Mind you, we had invited touring car drivers.
Right, we're going 3 abreast. This is going to be a late braking competition. Oh no! Oh!
I've just seen the door of the kitchen unit on the track, and that doesn't happen at Silverstone.
Luckily, my structure was still holding. No, it wasn't.
Oh, Hammond's gone!
Lightness is everything.
Well, I think the no contact rule needs a bit of a tweak, but we are onto something here.
Oh, push that. It goes red when it's hot. And then in there is your bedroom.
Wow!
You see, I don't think that's going to work because, as I proved, if you don't strip all that stuff out, it'll be too heavy and you'll come last.
No, James, you see, you're wrong, because you haven't seen this thing's pièce de résistance yet. What you have to do is come down here like this, open this up, and there you are. Wow! Now, what I'm going to do now is just lower that down. Check it out.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Yeah. Yes, I have. James, we're trying to prove that British Leyland occasionally made good cars.
You're not helping our case here.
Most interesting car they ever made, and most radical, and most modern.
Oh, look at the brown interior. Oh.
Brown,
And brown.
brown, brown.
It's brown and browner.
Brown was a 70s colour. This is a 1978 car. It's very interesting. It's in good condition.
Why is it interesting?
This was the first car in the world to obscure its wiper spindles under the bonnet.
Oh.
A requiem to Longbridge from the Top Gear British Leyland trio. It's come back to Longbridge.
It's on strike.
Finally, I got past my stable door and we were off. Well, one of us was.
I'd be happy to drive this all the way to the south of France. And I'd be happy if I got there and found I'd forgotten my swimming trunks, because then I could drive it all the way back again.
When you're on a motorway, it's smooth and civilised, quiet as well. It is magnificent.
Some say that he knows 2 facts about ducks, and both of them are wrong. And that 61 years ago, he accidentally introduced Her Majesty the Queen to a Greek racialist. All we know is, I'm going to the tower now to have my head cut off.
Yes.
And he is called the Stig. Sent to the Myra test track, top secret place. It's where the motor industry tests all its secret new models. It's just outside Nuneaton on the A5 between Hinckley and Atherstone, just before the A444. If you get to Fenny Drayton, you've gone too far. You need to back up.
Unfortunately,
got smoke.
Some oil had come out and was sort of on fire, but no matter.
Ah.
Your time.
Yes, my time. 1 minute 11 for that.
Yes, and
What?
1 minute 12. It was.
It's not possible. Look, even with Ray Charles at the wheel, you could get this round faster.
Well, you didn't.
Cock. Gone the wrong way.
What are you doing, man? You idiot! You stupid, long-haired idiot!
I don't think it will have affected the time too badly.
It was never going to be good, but...
Ooh, would you get out of that now?
No.
His foot's still on the brakes, look.
I'm not sure.
What's he doing?
That's the quickest I've ever seen him move.
How's that?
Fair
You're
enough.
there. £100.
Thank you.
What a machine, the mighty princess. Yeah, genuinely pleased about that.
Watch this.
I've never seen that before.
Happily, the wheel spin generated so much smoke, the car was hidden from view. I therefore claimed I'd done it, and then it was Hammond's turn.
That was the door.
Having fun?
Still, I'd only lost one thing. 2 things.
Sun bleached, and what you need to do is find a bit that's not been exposed.
Yeah, he's done it right, he's doing it right. About at the same speed Terry Wogan went round it.
Nevertheless, James was doing brilliantly.
I'm going to pass Hammond. There it is. Yes!
In fact, the princess could hold its drink so well, he did a full lap.
He's not cheating! I can't believe it!
And then he passed Hammond again.
Yes! Yes! And I've just lost it.
You've been lapped.
Doesn't happen every day.
Lapped by Captain Slow.
In an Austin Princess full of water.
Everyone's at the beach. There we go, first corner. English fella will probably make a mess of it. Mine's the stick. Oh, look, he's completely messed that up. I'm going to call him Bruce just to keep it simple. Proper Aussie music there. Right, into Chicago. Right, he's hanging the arse out. You don't want to do that in England. Never know what might happen. Hammerhead, that's a shack where I come from. Not a bloody corner. Walla bonga longa monga longa. That's a proper name for a corner. OK. Judges for this, OK? Do you want to know who the judges are in the American Green Car of the Year? One of them was Jay Leno.
Oh, he hates cars.
Yes, apart from his large collection of Ferraris and Porsches, he hates them. Yeah. Carroll Shelby.
Oh, he really hates cars.
Yeah. No, Carroll Shelby was the man who put the 7-litre V8 in the ACAs to create the Cobra and spends his time now...
Supercharging Mustangs.
He does, yes. He puts superchargers on Mustangs. And the other judge was... he's called Jean-Michel Cousteau, and he's actually Jacques Cousteau's son. I'd love to have been in the... when they were discussing it. Shut up, you goddamn Frenchy, cheese-eating surrender monkey.
Poor bloke, when he walked in that room. It was going to be very exciting. I'm a judge. And they were there drinking petrol and supercharging their chair.
Because Shelby would be going, I know what a hybrid is. It's like country and western.
And it's absolutely nothing like the cars we know today. For a start, it has this tiller steering arrangement, which is exactly the sort of thing you'd find on a canal boat. And it also only has a single front wheel, so presumably if you're a bit too vigorous with this, the whole thing could topple over.
Performance? Not great. It has a 1-cylinder, 1-litre engine, which gives a top speed of 9. And with a 1.5-litre fuel tank, its range is only 5 miles.
That's not the brake! No!
Its controls were hideously complicated, but there were some good points.
This had twice the power of the Benz, 2 horsepower. But most important of all, it had 4 wheels. So what they'd accidentally designed here is the quad bike.
Which had been translated from French, because the car was made in France, into English. Literally.
For making the carriage walking at the first speed, take back the drag of the wheel backward crowbar of the right, and take completely and progressively back the crowbar of embrayage to you, while you keep the direction with your... Hurl the mover till his starting.
I can understand why this is better than going around looking at a horse's bottom. But how did anyone ever figure out how it worked? It's the Stevens Derailleur, which has 8 clutches. And what kind of dullard would think that that was brilliant?
That's brilliant.
What's brilliant?
This gearbox. So this is a 3-speed constant mesh. So those are constant mesh gears, and it has selector forks, but it doesn't have dog clutches. So that's like the brake band on an automatic gearbox, in fact. And in a modern gearbox, one would always be loose on its shaft, either the input shaft or the lay shaft. That's 1903, and that is basically what...
Right, I'm going to try and gas it a bit down the straight.
I've never let a complete novice go out in one of our cars before. He's going quiet.
And no wonder. The straight line speed I could cope with, but in the corners I just couldn't think fast enough to react.
Let's just go mental. There's no temperature in the brakes. They feel like they're not working. Oh, this is every dream.
I'd done a lap, just one more. To mark the occasion, the technicians let the engine play its party piece.
Oh, that's an aggressive start.
Well, spin into second gear. Get going.
Now, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Where are you using the Stiggs line or... No, that's where the Stiggs says you should go. All the other F1 drivers do it different than that, go out wide.
Wasn't too bad. Give it 8 out of 10.
And then into Chicago.
Sideways.
Yeah, 1 minute. And bearing in mind, this is on a track covered in water and oil. 44.7.
No.
And that's wet and oil. How did you do that? Seriously, I have to know because everybody out there, including, I have to say, even the Stig, has to know, how did you do that?
I don't know.
because that's he's done a 44.4, and let's be honest, he knows this place like the back of his... I suppose he hasn't got hands, but you know what I mean. He knows this place extremely well, OK? You come down on a wet, oily track and do a 44.7, and you weren't even... I mean, we saw you singing.
Jeremy, meanwhile, had to install a long-range fuel tank.
Got a hammer?
With that not done, I checked on Hammond.
Will, you put that in your mouth, OK? Squeeze, 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 squeeze.
Squeezing it.
Does that work?
No, it's not brilliant, if I'm honest.
Oh.
Yeah, it's flawed.
Motorhome wasn't quite as professional as that. Nor was our catering. Nor was our car. In fact, nothing was.
That. We haven't got this.
We haven't got that.
No, we haven't got that. We haven't got these. We haven't got these.
Is this a diesel?
Yeah, no.
What is it, an M3? So this is an M3 BMW with a...
It's a lot better than ours.
Is it a diesel?
No, it's a bit quicker.
M3.
Sorry.
You're in an M3. Please be nice to us.
No. How can we...
Amazingly, the Stig went faster at night than he had in the day and put us an astonishing 42nd on the grid.
Yeah!
That's great!
Yeah! Don't touch him.
2, 1,
And we're off. And I've lost sight of them already. They're not going to last long doing that sort of thing.
But they could.
Oh, come on.
Of course, you might imagine that because it was conceived by a Dutch billionaire and built on an industrial estate in Banbury, that it's all a bit half-cocked.
Okay, the Daihatsu is considerably cheaper. It's insurance group 8, not 20. 46 miles per gallon, not 9 miles per gallon. More doors, more seats. Look at this, the Ascari. It doesn't even have inertia reel seat belts.
Yeah, no, I hear what you say, but the Ascari is much faster. And
He has! This is for me! Wow, what is it? I guarantee you won't guess if this is yours for Christmas. Because here it is. It's a wobbly-headed model of the former president of Nissan USA.
You are joking.
His head wobbles, look.
I don't care.
No, look, it says on the back here,
Give
he's
me
the
the-
father of the Z car. No! You've just pulled the wobbly head off the former president of Nissan USA!
Nobody's ever said that before.
No, I don't suppose they have.
Now look what's happened.
You've ruined it!
Because I can take those home because I quite like them. Okie doke.
dropped it.
Sorry, I dropped it as well.
Lamborghini
They're all
bauble.
wired into everything.
Happy Christmas.
It's like the Who.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Marley was dead.
Everything's ruined.
I love this car.
Get out of the way.
That'll be Jeremy then.
Here I come. This is Mercedes' answer to the M3. It's the AMG C-Class and it's not a car. It's a complete animal. Oh, Christ. Sancho, how many gears have you got?
6.
7. So that's one better.
That's too many.
What do you mean it's two?
It's
It
two.
is actually,
Oh,
you're
hello.
right. Has the captain arrived?
I believe so. In an Audi.
This Audi is a very, very good car.
Couldn't agree with you more. I remember when I drove this a couple of years ago, I actually believed that that was one of the greatest engines ever made. But you cannot ignore the engine in that Mercedes. You just can't. Nobody saw a 6.2 litre.
With 6.3 written on the side.
That's just
Is it a
history.
6.2?
Yes.
It says 6.3 on it.
Desperate for a victory, James got out his tape measure to try and find any area where the Audi was best.
I'm just measuring the steering wheels to see whose is fattest.
Meanwhile, Richard hauled me into the circuit's conference suite for a PowerPoint presentation.
Right, what I've got here is a graph showing the torque curves for each of the 3
You're
cars.
only doing this on a PowerPoint so M3 drivers know what you're on about.
No, it's the easiest way to show
No,
it. Shut
they
up.
don't. What do you want for supper tonight, darling? Well, I'll get my laptop out, and as you can see on this graph, 40% of me wants a shepherd's pie with peas,
Shut
60% wants lamb chops. That's a year-on-year
Shut up and pay
increase.
attention. This is useful information. These are the torque curves for each of the...
My gear stick's got the biggest knob diameter by ½ an inch.
For the glittering Top Gear awards ceremony held here in front of whoever's bothered to turn up.
Yes, it's where we celebrate all that's good and bad in the world of cars, here in the glittering West End of Guildford.
Yeah.
Go! We're off, we're off, we're off! He's pulling away. He's pulled away some more. Three, two, one, go! Yeah, try that. That's more like, come on, come on. Yes. Come on. Yes! Because the pickup is carrying a special load. When I press this little button, oh yeah. This one.
Oh, he's broken the machine! He's broken it!